Hey, what's up everyone? So I wanted to do a video listing out all the big criteria backed up by all the recent experiments proven in science on evolutionary biology as to why females like certain traits and what those traits are and what things you can improve on and so forth. So there's a lot of them, and don't be stressed because I guarantee you, um, if you don't have these, almost all these things you can improve on. And on top of that, this is something where, you know, it doesn't guarantee anything. There are very handsome men who are sucking with women. There are men with a lot of money in their bank account that suck with women. And so it's not a end all be all just if you have it. But I'm going to explain why they matter and why, because of how complex humans and their culture and modern society is, um, it's added a little bit of differences and details to the picture. For instance, um, you can get to a flip side where females are self-sufficient in terms of income, and they don't want money from another person anymore, and they think it's crass or disgusting if you're trying to show that off. Or you're that guy with all that money, and there's this phenomenon, I'm sure you've heard of it, called the gold digger. And it's a generalization, but long story short, it's not always that beneficial to flaunt your wealth or status because you don't want a partner for the wrong reasons. And again, as far as short-term mating goes, I mean, that I don't know, honestly, if it really matters or not. But I've been told generally most females, well, if money or status is a huge influence, um, that's probably not the type of person you want anyways. But anyhow, let's just get to it. I'm not here to put my own opinions. I'm just here to tell you guys what's important based off evolutionary psychology and evolutionary biology. Now, this isn't everything. This is just a percentage of the puzzle, and all these little things add together. And again, it's just one percentage, so we're excluding a whole slew of other things involving you actually opening your mouth and talking, and those things can be very important as well. So let's just get to it. These are the outward things that have been statistically shown to be helpful. So when people say looks don't matter and so forth, they do, but to what degree? Again, I've seen very good looking guys who suck with women. So the first is body type, body shape. This has to do with, again, genetics, hunter gatherer. Again, all these things, by the way, are naturally wired into most women, just based off survival and reproduction selection over millions of years. Therefore, it's not something that's really a conscious choice, it's unconscious. Women didn't just get together and randomly choose these criteria. They're based off evolutionary survivability and producing the most healthy offspring that survive. And so you shouldn't get resentful or angry. Those are just very unproductive traits to have. You should be happy because these things you can improve on. Now, it may not be an instant thing you can change, but work on it. So they've been shown to like a V shape in a guy, not an exceptionally masculine, overly buff man, but generally this sort of toned, fairly muscular type of man. So for me, the skinny guy, look how skinny I am. I can work on becoming more toned and muscular all over, but not exceptionally. And these things are changeable. Your body is changeable. In the 2 year span, if you work hard, I've seen some amazing transformations in men and women. And as a disclaimer, again, this is not a necessity. There are men who are very skinny, and there's a whole slew of other criteria and things that you can improve on, so that women may not, they'll look past your skinny body. There are, many examples of skinny individuals who have gone through this. But generally, you want this sort of V shape in the back and then a muscular toned body. Having said that, though, the world gets a little complicated because women like different things. They have different tastes based off their upbringing, experiences, childhood experiences, who they grew up around, blah, 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 blah. So you can run into exceptions or people with weird quirks or people who just like different things, different ethnicities, um, people who like really skinny people or people who like people who aren't good looking because maybe they had bad experiences or they're too good looking and they're scared of other, being around this guy who's too good looking or narcissistic. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So, um, long story short, generally, body shape. Um, Most likely you would do better percentage wise. You have a better chance if you start toning up a bit. Second, good grooming. So there's been a numerous amounts of experiments on this. Everything from fingernails to how you clip your fingernails, to how you groom your face. Uh, do you shave your beard? Do you have good fashion? I mean, we'll get to fashion later, but good grooming. Uh, are you clean shaven? Some people like stubble. But long story short, do you look like a complete mess? Do you look like a homeless man? Do you shower? All these things are important to a certain extent. Again, as a disclaimer, um, you can accentuate other things, personality and so forth, and therefore there are guys who get laid and they have crappy uh, grooming or they just smell terrible. Um, Most of the time, though, like you have to have some ridiculous game. Like, why put yourself through that? Just like clean up. Take like 2 minutes to do so. 5-10 minutes to shower. It can save you a lot of extra energy and time, and so forth. Fashion and style important. They, for a variety of reasons. They can signify economic class, and again, this is one of those variables that you can choose to ignore because it's like, well, you want to avoid gold diggers too, and so forth. But fashion and style also mean a lot of other things. You don't have to be ostentatious with your fashion. You can just be like a decent amount so that you have some taste in style without spending excessive amounts, and attracting the wrong type of people. So I can go on and on, but it shows that you appreciate style in yourself and females. Again, it can show economic class. It can show that you can take care of yourself, that you have the right, that it can show off your body and show the girls how your body is, and it can express what your body type is, and it can make you look more attractive. And these are important things because guys, especially me, I'm a huge, violator of this. Guys don't know, and they wear these baggy clothing that, rather than fits you nicely, it masks your body. So even if you have this godlike body underneath, your baggy clothing is hiding it. So these things, again, they're important, but not as much as you think. Like, these are all things you can work on for sure, and they'll help you. So work on them. Don't just like throw them on in the trash because they can help you for sure. Work on them. But you'll be surprised. Like, then there's so much other stuff, and we'll get to that in another video. That has to do with the words that actually come out of your mouth, how you present yourself, a bunch of other stuff that can overshadow a bunch of crap that you do wrong. Maybe horrible fashion and so forth. I mean, there are guys who just wear t-shirts or just jeans and a t-shirt and they get laid. But again, a little bit of emphasis on fashion can get you a long way too if you're like below par or just average. Another thing is your scent. So you want to have a neutral scent or a good scent. Good is kind of subjective, so again, it's one of those things that may polarize you. So again, sometimes you want to err on the side of caution and do neutral scents, as long as you don't smell bad. Again, there's experiments on this. If you have a bad body odor or bad breath and so forth, and these are just so common things, and yet, I as a guy, a straight guy, I can't tell you how many times I've forgotten it, and My grooming has been a complete mess. I don't even want to talk about it. In the past, there are days when I had like boogers hanging out my mouth, and it was just horrendous. And I was surprised how nice some girls treated me. And it was just like, if I saw that, I wouldn't. I mean, the more I think about it, I feel like some girls are much nicer than I would be if I was that girl. Because it's like if I was approached as often as I was when I'm supermarket shopping, or um, this horrendously, unkempt person with boogers hanging out of his mouth approach me, I would be a lot meaner. So again, now I have some sympathy with some girls, and it's not always the case. And again, not all girls get approached that often, especially by the guys that they really want them to be approached by. So again, um, moving on though, the next thing, again, these are all things that come up before you even open your mouth. So again, don't overemphasize these. There is money. Now, money implies a lot of potential things, but not always. I do think there's stupid girls out there who get this wrong, or they don't understand it, or a lot of problems. Money can, but here's the key word: it doesn't always signify achievement,